Since the second half of last season, young Kyle Bradish has been the best pitcher in the Orioles rotation.
He has 7 straight starts of 6 or more innings. He only had 5 of his first 13.
Jeff McNeil will lead off. 1970 inside ball 4, and McNeil's actually hit him. So there's the first base runner of the game. McNeil takes over the sole possession of the National League lead in hit by pitch. Here's Francisco Lindor, 4 for 7 in this series with a pair of doubles. He has been the Mets' hottest hitter over the last month and a half.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3. Over a curve of the dirt, McCann knocks it down, and Lindor out automatically with McNeil over at first base.
So here's Alonso hitting third in the order.
Ground ball up the middle. Westburg to the bag for 1. On to first, 2. A double play. Bradish facing the minimum in the first. The Orioles turn 2.
Jose Quintana takes the ball for the Mets today. His season got a late start because of injury. Now in his 4th outing today. Adley Rutschman DHing for the second time in this series. 3-1 coming, and Rutschman lines in. One hopper snag nicely by Lindor. A do or die pick. And he throws out Rutschman for the first out.
So Rutschman retired. Here's Mountcastle.
0-2 to Mountcastle, who's been the hottest hitter in the lineup the last couple of weeks. Checks his swing, but he went around strike 3. And on 3 pitches, Quintana strikes out Mountcastle for the second out.
And here's Anthony Santander.
3-2 from Quintana. And Santander goes down swinging on a sinker right in the middle of the strike zone. Back-to-back strikeouts for Quintana to finish off a 1-2-3 first.
And the backup catcher, Omar Narvaez.
He felt as though that's lined the other way. Narvaez has a base hit. First hit in this game belongs to Omar Narvaez, who was robbed a couple of times in his last start in Kansas City on great plays by Bobby Witt. Brett Beatty trying to snap an 0 for 17 stretch. He's DHing today. And that's taken low ball 4. And so Beatty draws a walk, and the Mets have 2 men on. So 2 out and 2 on now. Danny Mendick, his last start was Wednesday in Kansas City. He went 2 for 3 in that game.
First pitch is hit on the ground to shortstop, fielded by Henderson. Race to the bag, won by the O's shortstop. He forces out Beatty, and the inning ends. Kyle Bradish, 2 clean frames through 1.5.
Raphael Ortega leads off the 3rd against Kyle Bradish, and he lines that one into right center field for a base hit. Santander over to play it, and Ortega's aboard with his 2nd hit as a Met. A leadoff single in the 3rd. And that's taken high ball 4. So the Mets have 2 men on. 2nd walk given up by Bradish.
2 aboard now for Pete Alonso.
Ground ball hit slowly to shortstop. Henderson to second for 1. On to first, make that 2.
Polar Pete, back-to-back double plays. A cold bat so far. It ends the top of the 3rd.
Still scoreless, bottom of the 3rd inning.
Payoff. This one shoots underneath Narvaez, off the backstop back to him. Adley Rutschman with a 2-out walk.
Mountcastle over the last 20 games coming into today had an OPS of 1133.
1-1 in Mountcastle, and he has a base hit to right field. Rutschman, he's heading for 3rd, and he'll make it easily.
A single for Ryan Mountcastle with 2 outs puts runners on the corners. Rutschman at 3rd, Mountcastle at 1st. Santander.
You got a left-handed hitter on deck, so the veteran pitcher, I would guess, would be very careful there.
Outside, so walk, and the bases are loaded full of Orioles. They're going to love this one here. Gunnar Henderson has shined in some of the loudest moments this year.
First pitch. Swung on, popped up. Shallow left field. McNeil is coming in. Lindor waving everybody off, but it's McNeil at the last second who makes the catch. The Orioles load the bases with 2 outs, but do not score. Here's Ramon Arias.
That's driven toward the gap. Moving over is Ortega, sliding, and he made the catch. Ortega did not take the correct route to that ball. Had to make an adjustment at the last moment. Made the slide and took a hit away from Arias. Nice play, Ortega.
Full count now against Raphael Ortega.
Diving stop at first by Mountcastle. A flip to Bradish to complete the out.
It's nice to have great defensive players.
It's awesome.
McNeil just a few steps off of first base.
Grounds one toward the hole. He'll get a base hit. McNeil's going to turn second, try for third. The throw by Santander is cut off. So Lindor grounds one through the hole. The Mets have their 3rd hit, and they have first and third with 2 down, and another chance for Alonso. And he misses low and in. He now will have to face the cleanup hitter with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Brandon Hyde out of the dugout.
Well, the Mets able to knock Kyle Bradish out in the 5th inning. His first 4 were scoreless.
And Cecino Perez, he's going to come on trying to get out of this mess. He's going to be facing the left-handed hitting DJ Stewart.
Ground ball to the right side. Westberg on to first.
And Cecino Perez strands the bases loaded.
Jorge Mateo grounded out short his first time up.
7 walks, 7 strikeouts as that's lined in a short center field. Sliding on is Ortega. It gets right past him, and there is trouble brewing. Mateo around second, heading to third. He's going to be held there by Tony Mansolino.
Ortega came in. He was in between, tried to make a lunging catch. And as he extended his glove, he missed it. The ball went by him and rolled all the way to the center field fence. And Mateo ends up at third base.
Well, an opportunity here for Rutschman to break a 0-0 game up. Ground ball to third base. Mateo coming home. Booted by Vientos. And the Orioles take the lead 1-0.
Well, Vientos thinking about throwing home, and in his haste, he bobbled the grounder. And that enables Mateo to score the first run of the game. 2 balls not played perfectly by the Mets in the field.
0-2.
Chipped into shallow left. On the run, McKenna. What a catch.
He stops himself into the wall in front of fans, but a nice play for Ryan McKenna. Jose Quintana back out for another round. The first pitch to James McCann. Ground ball. This one fair past Mark Vientos. It rolls into left field. Jeff McNeil comes up with it. McCann trying to stretch this into a double. The slide at second. The play. Not in time. He's safe. James McCann having himself a series, a leadoff double for the Orioles.
See, it all went sideways when they traded him to the Orioles.
Ryan McKenna to face Jose Quintana.
Not bunting, and a base hit to right. McCann held up at third.
That's going to be all for Quintana. Excellent outing for Quintana, but he's done. First and third, and nobody out.
O'Hearn, first pitch swinging right back to God, but it's off of his glove. A recovery on the infield takes out Ryan McKenna.
Mendick had a shot at least at a double play. I think he thought he may have a shot at coming home, but never pulled the trigger.
It's an RBI fielder's choice, and Baltimore leads 2-0.
Another instance in this series where the Mets defense cost them.
The man they call the Mountain, Felix Bautista, has emerged as the greatest game-closing force in the American League. Vientos at second and 2 down. So it's left to Vogelbach.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And for the Orioles, this is 70, as in 70 wins on August the 6th. Bautista completes the shutout. The Orioles sweep away the Mets. They're now 28 games north of 500.